Right now on KGW, Salem City Council has voted to declare a state of emergency over its drinking water supply, a move some critics say is an overreach by environmental interests. We have more on how this all relates to the drawdown of the Detroit Lake Reservoir coming up in a live report. Plus,
a gunman opens fire inside a New York City high-rise, killing 4 people and himself. Coming up here on Sunrise, the latest on who New York's mayor says the gunman was targeting.
And starting Friday, parking is getting more expensive in Portland's Central East Side. We'll fill you in on the new pay-to-pay park hours in that part of town. Your 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock on your Tuesday. I'm China Green.
Tuesday. China Green, Chris McGinnis, Rod Hill, also on board here. What do you got for us weather and traffic-wise, gang?
Hey, we have another beautiful sunny morning, including you folks at the coast. The one live camera we have is in Lincoln City. Here's Schnookwan's Casino Resort camera. We got a jogger there down along the water. 51 degrees is early morning number. A little bit warmer here in the valley. In fact, about 10 degrees warmer. Well, 12. We're at 63 right now as we begin this new 8 a.m. hour. Day planner for today, 77 at noon. You'll notice by midday we're running at a faster warm-up pace than yesterday. High temperature 90 to 92 at 5 o'clock. If we make it, today will become the 11th such 90-plus degree day of 2025, Tris.
Toasty. All right, let's get you out the door. Heads up on the east side of Vancouver, up on near Patton Parkway, I should say. Washed out doing some tree trimming on the Patton Parkway on-ramp to northbound 205. That'll be closed starting now, from now until about 3 o'clock. Meanwhile, the southbound drive over the Glen Jackson Bridge, a little slow, but not bad. By far and away in better shape than the I-5 drive, which is as normal, slow and steady crossing the interstate bridge. You're looking at just shy of 30 now to get you in from Main Street. Back over to the west side, the inbound Sunset, again, a long line of 3 lanes of traffic puttering along in from Bethany to Murray and Cedar Hills Boulevard. At last check, you're just shy of 30 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough and the East Side Drive. Guys, this is Interstate 84, of course, 30 minutes from Troutdale. The slowest part of that is from Gateway. Right now, a solid 25 from 205 to downtown. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. City councilors in Salem are taking steps to ensure the city has enough drinking water.
Yeah, they're trying to get ahead of a project analyzing salmon migration, which is expected to reduce salmon's primary water source. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz all over this story this morning from the newsroom. So, Thomas, what's the latest?
Well, guys, just last night, the Salem City Council declared a state of emergency. This comes as the Army Corps of Engineers plans a drawdown of the Detroit Lake Reservoir. The City Council is concerned that drawdown could stir up sediment and clog filtration systems at Salem's treatment plant. The National Marine Fisheries Service ordered the drawdown to improve mitigation for endangered salmon. The lake will be lowered further than it has been in more than 70 years. Some say this idea is an overreach.
We have to handle this in a common sense manner. I am for the tribes and I am for the fish, but only when they will do the full research.
Now, as plans move forward, the city is focused on mitigating the impact of drawdown and what it could do to that drinking water, which is the top source for the Salem area. Last night's emergency declaration allows the city to quickly fortify its water treatment system and add several wells, all for around $8 million. Salem also has other alternative water sources. Still, it all adds up to just enough water supply for residents.
Even with the wells, if we can get 1.5 million gallons per well out of it, that margin is still really narrow. And if any one of those things goes, it could really be catastrophic for us.
And it's not just Salem here that's going to be impacted. The mayor of Stayton also sent a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers asking them to reconsider this idea. Now, if the project does move forward as it is expected to do, those drawdowns last 30 to 60 days. But guys, the big news here, they take 3 years to get a full report on migration of salmon. Drew, China.
Thomas, thank you. Meantime, city officials in Newport are asking residents to conserve water because of drought conditions there. They're suggesting people limit watering their lawns and plants. And if you have to water, do it when it's cooler outside, either in the early morning or evening. Other ways you can help include reducing your shower time or waiting until you have full loads before doing the laundry or running the dishwasher.
Governor Kotek signed several housing-related bills into law that allow more middle housing, things like townhomes and duplexes in cities and unincorporated areas of the state. These bills also allow the state to pre-approve housing plans and provide financial assistance to housing projects in Oregon. The governor also wants to work with local governments to streamline the permit process.
We want more people to own their homes and live in places they can afford. And the bills I've signed today are going to provide more guarantees that we can get there, because we're just going to make it easier to build, and that will lower the price.
So these are hardworking folks who are excited to have a place to plant roots, to not have to move around chasing rents. These are folks who might be a nurse's assistant, for example, or a teacher's aide, or someone who does housekeeping at hotels who can afford home ownership, which is a big deal today.
The governor has a lofty goal to create 36,000 new homes every year. Only 14,000 building permits were issued last year, and most of them were for single-family homes.
The Vancouver Fire Department extinguished a brush fire that sparked an area full of blackberries yesterday morning. Crews were able to put it out within about 10 minutes. The scene was then turned over to the Department of Natural Resources. No one was hurt. All right, now to a fire that we told you about yesterday. Dozens of people are without a home after a fire at a senior care facility in Tigard. Firefighters were called out to Avamere at Park Place Assisted Living Facility on Southwest Hemlock Street just after 6:30 yesterday morning. They say that the fire started outside and spread to the first floor. They worked fast to evacuate the building. Many of the people living there have limited mobility. Investigators say at least one improperly discarded cigarette butt caused the fire.
Yeah, we have several units that have been damaged quite a bit. And so they won't be able to return to some of those. And then we have lots of smoke and water damage to the facility.
2 people were hurt during the evacuation. One of them was taken to the hospital. Some people have been cleared to return to their units. Others are getting set up with alternative housing.
The U.S. Forest Service is responding to multiple reports of fires started by thunderstorms over the Cascade Range. So the largest of them is the Piper Fire. It's burning in the Three Sisters Wilderness. The Forest Service reports it's burned about 20 acres. It's a popular spot for camping, but right now visitors are being told to stay away from that area.
Meantime, fire officials in Central Oregon have confirmed 13 wildfires were sparked due to a recent storm. The largest of the fire was only 2 acres. Additional resources are prepared to respond to the fires today.
The Burdoyne Fire on the Washington side of the gorge is now 69% contained. All level 3 evacuation orders have now been downgraded to level 2. So that means people in that area can finally start to get back to their homes.
Your time now is 8:07. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at your weather.
Yeah, the gorge all dry today, as we'll be here up and down I-5 as well in the Willamette Valley. This is Futurecast this afternoon, or actually this evening at 7 o'clock. So best chance of storms later today into the evening. And while there is a storm chance in Central Oregon, weather models say most of the action stays farther to the east. There's a heavy shower popping just north of Burns, and then that fades away. And then here's the better chance of thunderstorm activity into Central Oregon. This is tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Pretty good storm moving just north of Bachelor. And then cloudiness from all this, and maybe some rain moves into the valley overnight. This is Thursday morning at 8:06. So it's still at least possible that we'll get storms hitting the Cascades tomorrow afternoon, evening, that will push over the crest west into the Willamette Valley. But clearly, the pinpoint a rain chance in any one spot between Salem, Portland, Vancouver, and even up to Seattle puts your rain chances kind of in the slight or slim category. So we'll see if we end up with something on this side of our state or not. Let's get you out the door this morning. We are mainly clear. Here's the live camera up in the West Hills at the Oregon Zoo. Temperature currently 63 degrees. A nice morning turns into a hot afternoon on our Tuesday. It's 59 in Beaverton. Also 59 degrees right now out in Happy Valley. Salem's at 64. And down in Corvallis, good morning, 57 is the temperature. So the storm chance includes Central Oregon, but it's best out east today. And the farther south you go, the better the chance of stormy weather. Maybe something gets up into the blues. This shows La Grande at 89. Look at the 90s from Eugene up into Portland. This shows the Dalles at 98. Other weather models show you folks in Wasco County could hit 100 degrees today. For Portland, 92, 91, maybe back-to-back hot days, and then that storm chance, or at least some cloudiness going into Thursday, will start a cool down. 77 Friday and 80 to 77 for your upcoming weekend. Here's Chris.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. Let's pick it up on the west side. I've got new trouble now on 217 northbound. A crash north of Denny right now has what looks like you know what? Just as we're saying that, they've literally just got it cleared. However, there's a backup building around that. So northbound 217 really puttering along about 8 miles an hour or so between Shoals Ferry and Denny. The southbound commute looks like it's rolling along just fine on that fresh asphalt. The 217 project continues. Of course, there are a couple more weekend closures coming up next month. This weekend, nothing scheduled. Over on the west side, the freeways, picking it up on the west side freeways. Right now, Highway 26 inbound still pretty slow. That's about a 30-minute commute to get you from Hillsborough. And a little farther west, out in Clatsop County, heads up in about 90 minutes or so. US 101, the new Youngs Bay Bridge, will be closed for about 4 hours from 10 to 2. ODOT doing some road maintenance. They're resealing the bridge deck and whatnot. Guys, the detour around that will be US 101B, the old Youngs Bay Bridge. It's signed. You'll be able to follow that around just fine, but it will add a few minutes to your commute. Back to you.
Chris, we're not going to call this back to school season yet. I don't feel like we should do that.
Why?
Yeah, we can't do that to local kids, okay? But we are talking back to school shopping this morning. After the break, we're going to hear about a report that suggests people are...
Two-thirds of shoppers.
Oh, she already wants to give the report. It's not time for the report yet. We're going to do that after the break, a local report on back to school shopping, and later.
I found sort of being out in the trails to really, it probably saved my life.
That man turned to running after suffering a traumatic brain injury. He's now setting records on top of all that. We'll have his story when Sunrise continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Our top national story comes from New York, where Mayor Eric Adams says a gunman who killed 4 people, then himself, at a Manhattan office building was actually trying to target the headquarters of the National Football League, but he took the wrong elevator and ended up in the wrong office.
Investigators also found a rambling note that suggested the man had a grievance against the NFL and mentioned his days playing football as a possible cause for his mental illness. NBC's Ida Siegel has more as investigators try to determine a motive behind the attack.
A flood of law enforcement descended on Park Avenue in the middle of the evening rush hour. Shots had been fired inside the lobby of 345 Park Avenue. Surveillance video would later show a man with a rifle, dressed in professional attire, casually walking on the plaza leading to the lobby. Once he made it inside, police say he opened fire. Police now telling us the gunman, identified as Shane Devin Tamora, shot 5 people, killing 4 of them, including a police officer who was rushed into emergency surgery but could not be saved. Police say the gunman ultimately turned his weapon on himself and took his own life on the 33rd floor of the building.
I mean, it's horrifying.
Dan Buring's fiance called him from the 32nd floor. She works for Blackstone and told him that she and others had barricaded themselves inside a conference room with a refrigerator blocking the door.
She just knew that there was an active shooter. A colleague called up from the lobby who was there when it happened, and so everybody sheltered in place as quickly as they could.
We want to follow that up with this reminder. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is always available. You can call or text that 3-digit number on your screen, 988. That's the number to the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which provides confidential support and crisis resources. Again, the number to call or text is 988.
Your time now is 8:15, and back to school shopping season is starting to pick up, and consumers say that they are curbing spending on school supplies and tech, but some shoppers are finding ways to save. Michael Yoshida takes a look.
It's almost that time of year again. With school supply lists in hand, parents are already beginning to shell out big bucks on books and bags, pencils and paper, crayons and calculators.
Over 2/3 of shoppers have already started picking up items for the season. This is a record high, up from 55% last year.
Catherine Cullen of the National Retail Federation says shoppers are bracing for the potential impact of tariffs.
Consumers are trying to get ahead of any potential price increases by shopping a little early, particularly for key items like apparel, electronics, and dorm furnishings.
A new survey from Deloitte found that economic uncertainty, coupled with higher prices on just about everything, is also leading many consumers to cut back, with plans to spend $570 per child on average, down 7% year over year.
We are seeing the continual impact of inflation on the discretionary items being a little bit less affordable when the amount they have to spend on their households and on health is a little bit higher.
But as parents tighten their wallets, they're also getting more creative and finding ways to save.
We're finding increased usage of first social media. This is the first year we're seeing a meaningful increase in the use of generative AI tools to support back to school shopping.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida reporting.
Are you guys using AI to help you with your back to school shopping? What are you doing? I mean, you know what you need? You just go and get it.
I think so.
All right. This is much I know for absolute sure. We need your help with this year's KGW School Supply Drive. It starts officially on Friday, but we're asking you to sign up today to be an official school supply drive collection site. Whether you own a local business, you're part of a local organization, anyone can collect for us. Go to kgw.com/school, sign up today, and help thousands of kids and teachers in the area go back to school with all the supplies they need. All right, time for weather, but first, Rod, how about this look outside? The camera's moving, trying to show off everything we can see from downtown Portland as the sun continues to pop up here this morning.
Very fancy.
Fancy moving of the cameras.
All right, we have, as you saw there, blue sky from south to north. We are looking at more thunderstorm activity today. We just moments ago did the story with the fact that thunderstorms, lightning produced more fire starts yesterday, so there's concern of that again. And this is the area where the red flag warning for high fire danger is up. Includes Bend, includes Burns, includes Baker City. Models show that thunderstorm activity, for the most part, waits to fire until later this afternoon. But we'll see. The fire weather warning up from 2 o'clock until 11 o'clock today. And that fire weather warning expected to basically repeat for parts of our state, especially Central Oregon tomorrow. All right, here's Futurecast. This is 5 o'clock. So if this is right, we don't see a lot of action until later this afternoon. And then those storms kind of fade away once the daytime heating goes away. And then they redevelop tomorrow. Still looks like tomorrow, Wednesday, 4 o'clock, we'll see storms with the best chance to migrate off to Central Oregon and maybe even start bouncing along the Cascade Range, which is what this shows tomorrow at 4 o'clock. The models yesterday showed that cluster I just pointed out moving into the valley during the evening overnight. Now the update shows, well, not really, but clouds and a rain chance where you see the green into Portland first thing Thursday morning at 7 o'clock. There are, well, in fact, this one. Look at that. Boom. There's a thunderstorm up in the Washington Cascades. This is noon and shows some rain up north of Seattle, too. So the model's like some rain somewhere up and down I-5. Will there be a thunderstorm somewhere? Maybe, maybe not. But you get the idea that the best chance of us getting something on this side of the Cascades is tomorrow night and Thursday. So we'll see how it plays out. Today we know we're all dry. We know we're all sunny. Here's the Providence Park live camera, 64 degrees. As we're now warming up in the 8 o'clock hour. I wanted to show you this temperature at Government Camp. This is the ODOT weather station up there at 4,000 feet. 64 degrees, 63.5. So just a reminder, if you're going up in the Cascades, it's going to be warm today. Pass level temperature is expected to easily reach 80 degrees. So be prepared for that. Okay, here we are with the current numbers. The Dow 71. Maybe getting close to 100 or reaching 100 later today. Again, take advantage of the morning pleasantries, if you will. Valley forecast shows 94 in McMinnville, 93 in Salem, 91 in Corvallis, and about 90 in Southwest Washington. I have Portland going 92, 91, maybe back-to-backers. There's that rain chance into Thursday morning, maybe some thunder. We'll see if we get anything or not. But that will swing the door back to a cooler weather pattern, 77 Friday, 80 Saturday, and 77 degrees on Sunday. All right, Chris is checking out the roads for us.
Yeah, Rod, thanks for that. We had a crash just a couple of minutes ago over on 217 northbound. I'll take you there. This is near Denny. It looks like that's finally been cleared to the shoulder here, but obviously traffic's still running a little thick. In fact, really slow. 8 miles an hour is what our traffic sensors are showing getting around that stretch. So expect some light delays on that side of town. Elsewhere, we are improving. Hey, there's some good news. We've got it under 30 minutes now to get you in from Hillsborough on Highway 26, and the I-5 drive from Wilsonville, that's been holding steady right around 30 minutes as well. Here's a live look from West Lynn, both sides of the Abernathy Bridge. That's the West Lynn side. Here's the Oregon City side, moving a little bit better now than it was. And the drive out of Clark County, we have moved the end of the line on I-5 down to the Interstate Bridge, but from there it's slow and go the rest of the way into town. 25 minutes the total commute from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. China?
Thank you, Chris. After the break, we're meeting a man who is using running to help him recover from a traumatic brain injury. Now he's even breaking records.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
A Portland man ran 60 miles through Forest Park on the way to setting a new record. And as KGW's Art Edwards explains, all of that running is part of a much bigger journey that he's had to tackle.
Starting by the zoo, running straight out on the Wildwood Trail to Newby Road, which was about 30.2 miles, and then coming back the other way. And yeah, setting a record on it, which was previously out 8 hours and 29 minutes, and I did it in 8 hours and 4 minutes.
This record was years in the making. A.J. Hanspool was a member of the United Kingdom's Royal Marines, but in 2018, he suffered a traumatic brain injury. It changed the course of his life.
Suddenly, something I thought was going to be my career for my whole life was torn away from me. And I lost 40% of the function in my frontal lobe in an instant, and it took sort of 6 months of intensive physiotherapy just to learn how to walk again.
He's done far more than walk. Trail running and running long distances became his passion.
I found sort of being out in the trails to really, it probably saved my life. Like It was a lot of mindfulness, sort of acted as my escape and meditation and just a way to process those heavy feelings. And now, yeah, sort of 7 years on, I really appreciate being able to disconnect and spend time with myself and sit in my own thoughts. And it feels, yeah, like a proper adventure.
While Hansball ran the Wildwood Trail as a solo runner for his record, he had a team supporting him.
60 miles is a long way, it is, but it's also not. Like, a road marathon's a very different thing, and this is just slower. There's a lot more food, it's very social, and it feels always like a community event, whether it's a race or a challenge where one person's going after a record, but it's not that one person, it's like, it really takes a community and a village.
To prepare for a run like the Wildwood Trail, Hansball puts in 80 to 100 miles a week.
I'd say 80% of my time is spent here, pretty much in Forest Park, and then occasionally going out to the Gorge, to Mount St Helens, Mount Hood, the Tillamook State Forest, and yeah, just finding it like an incredible way to explore cities, but also the environments around them.
While he's overcome challenges, the life he has built in Portland is his new normal.
So I wouldn't change anything because it was how I found trail running, being out in nature.
Art Edwards, KGW Sports.
Still to come on Sunrise, what you need to know about the new pay-to-park hours coming to Portland's Central East Side, plus the latest on the man accused of hitting two people with a stolen car in Portland over the weekend as he's due back in court today.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. City leaders in Salem declared a state of emergency because of future drinking water concerns. As the Army Corps of Engineers plans to lower Detroit Lake next year to help endangered salmon migrations, the city says this project could stir up sediment and clog Salem's main water treatment plant. Declaring a state of emergency clears the way for $8 million to use on upgrades and backup wells, all in an effort to keep clean water flowing in Salem. All right, Rodney, what do you have for us weather-wise?
Beautiful morning out there. This is a day that gets hot again. Been a little while since we've been to 90 or better, and I think we'll get there today. Here's the Salem sky camera for you. It's also a clear sky morning along the coast. Salem at 64, Portland at 63, and here we go, 77 at noon. At least 90 and maybe hotter. I've got us potentially up to 92 And then we could be right back up to about 90 degrees tomorrow. Both days dry with sunshine. It's tomorrow overnight into Thursday that we'll be watching thunderstorm activity near the Cascades and wondering if some of those storms will pop into the valley. That could happen Wednesday overnight into Thursday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your sauces.
Ooh, yes.
Yep, today is National Chicken Wing Day.
Yeah.
Also known as Buffalo Wings. Back in 1977, the mayor of Buffalo, New York, started this holiday in honor of his city's namesake dish. So celebrating this year should be pretty easy because a number of big chains, including Wingstop and Buffalo Wild Wings, are offering deals and promotions for National Chicken Wing Day. We learned last hour that until this very day, in 2025, this day, Rod Hill had no idea that the Buffalo chicken wing was a reference to Buffalo, New York.
I don't know why I didn't.
Did you think it was a reference to the animal?
To me, it's a reference to the style of how they're prepared, which I think is correct. But I didn't realize there was a tie to the city.
It's a reference to where they began, is what it's a reference.
I thought they ate like pizza up in Buffalo, New York. I have no idea what those people eat up there. How would I know?
It's funny because I actually remember the day I figured out they weren't referring to the animal buffalo. Like I thought as a little kid, buffalo wings
had wings?
Yeah, buffaloes don't have wings. What's this all about? Then someone's like, it's the city. I go, oh, I was probably 12.
Yeah.
Here you are at the 63 or 4, just figuring this out. I think it's awesome.
Do we want to take a deep dive on chicken fingers?
What do you got?
Why is it chicken fingers? Chickens don't have fingers.
No, they don't look like fingers.
Yeah. I get why you're confused because it doesn't always make sense, Rodney.
You came to my rescue. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Unlike those people making fun of me. Thank you, China. Here's a look at our Shinnecoin Casino resort camera. This is pretty, isn't it? Yeah. Another clear sky day. Some of the beaches hit 70 yesterday, and we'll look for that same sort of thing today. Inland areas, though, including you folks out in Eastern Oregon, temperature is going to be up from yesterday. Portland, right now, very nice, 63 degrees. At noon, 77, still pretty gosh darn nice, but 80 probably at 1 o'clock, and then after that we really go. At least 90 this afternoon, maybe up to 92 at 5 o'clock. I mentioned a moment ago that most of our inland areas will be getting hotter. At 5 o'clock, this shows the Dow's at 98. You folks could hit 100 for a high. It shows mid-90s in Madras, Pendleton. And again, later this afternoon, we'll see thunderstorm development coming up from the south, especially eastern Oregon, but maybe some of the storms migrate over to central Oregon as well. Those storms will fizzle tonight, but they will redevelop tomorrow. And it's the ones that redevelop on Wednesday that could bounce over the Cascades Wednesday night into Thursday, and that's why we have a shower thunderstorm chance. May or may not happen, but that's the time frame we're watching. 92 today, 91 tomorrow, that rain chance into Thursday morning, and then dry, comfortable weather, 77 to 80 on Friday, Saturday, and on Sunday. Chris is checking out the traffic.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. I want to get you updated here on a big traffic alert. This is down south of Eugene now. I'm just getting word that Interstate 5 is closed, both directions south of Eugene near milepost 186. So that's about 2 miles south of Highway 58, Willamette Pass Highway, or the road that takes you over Willamette Pass. I'm working to get more details on this, but just know, again, it could be a lengthy closure. I'm working to get more info, and as soon as I have it, I'll bring it to you here on Sunrise. Back to the local area, 217 northbound, still puttering along because of that earlier crash near Denny. You can see the crash was cleared to the shoulder about 30 minutes ago, but that northbound commute's still a little slow as we take the live look there. Drive times right now are slow, but maybe getting a little bit better, at least on Interstate 84. I-5 northbound from Wilsonville is still pretty thick. That's a 35-minute commute from the Boone Bridge north to the Markham. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Top story here at 8:30. The man accused of crashing a stolen car and hitting 2 people in Portland over the weekend has pleaded not guilty.
28-year-old Amin Noor Mohammed is charged with a dozen of counts, including assault, reckless driving, and DUI. Police say that they tried to stop him Sunday afternoon near Northwest 9th and Burnside when they noticed the stolen car. They say Mohammed didn't stop and ended up crashing a few blocks away. They say it appeared he lost control and hit 2 pedestrians. Prosecutors requested Mohammed to be kept in jail while his case plays out. He has another hearing set for today.
There are lots of safety concerns right now around Multnomah County's Central Library in downtown Portland after a deadly shooting outside the library earlier this month. County Commissioner Megan Moyer sent a letter to the mayor and Police Chief Bob Day saying that more needs to be done to address violence and drug use in downtown. Commissioner Moyer is calling for Portland Police to patrol the area more frequently and provide monthly updates. Meanwhile, Portland Police Commander Brian Hughes, he responded by saying that the force is really doing all it can right now.
Well, I just want to say that we are being a good partner, and the bike officers deploy there regularly, and we do maintain a regular presence at the library. But keep in mind, I have the entire downtown Central City core that I'm responsible for and competing priorities, right?
Portland Police later sent a list of recommendations on what they thought the county could do to help out. Those recommendations include replacing library security with members of the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, installing metal detectors, removing outside benches, and also eliminating outdoor Wi-Fi.
A Portland man is accused of assaulting an ICE officer and damaging federal property during a protest outside the South Portland ICE facility. Prosecutors say last month, 24-year-old Robert Hoops threw rocks at the ICE building, hitting an officer in the head, causing a cut over the officer's eye. They say he also helped ram a stop sign into the front door. Investigators identified Hoops from a photo online the day of that protest, and the FBI arrested him last Friday. He's charged with aggravated assault and damage of federal property.
Divers recovered a body from the Columbia River that's believed to be that of a 52-year-old man who went missing this past weekend. The body was found at Wintler Park, where the man was presumed to have drowned on Sunday night. Vancouver fire officials say he got into trouble when he went into deeper water to recover some of his personal belongings. We're still waiting on the medical examiner to officially identify the body, but in the meantime, officials are warning people to be safe and always wear a life jacket when swimming in local rivers. Starting this Friday, the city is going to extend the hours where you'll have to pay to park on Portland's Central East Side. So at this point, you're going to have to start paying between 8 in the morning and 10 o'clock at night, Monday through Saturday. Again, this is on Portland's Central East Side, and this is in addition to the increased city parking fees that started on July 1st. Transportation officials say the changes are meant to help increase turnover, parking turnover that is, as demand for events, shopping, and dining all grow. Pay to park hours will also expand in other districts of the city through December. Downtown Portland is the next district to get hit starting in September.
History set sail in Western Washington. A full-scale Viking ship built in Anacortes made its maiden voyage last week. The sailing fulfilled a promise made more than a decade ago. Bridget Chavez with their sister station Seattle takes us on board the only Coast Guard-approved Viking ship in the world.
At Deception Pass, the tide changes fast. But for a few precious moments,
it looks like it's going to be a great day.
Everything is still.
Ode must have been helping us out here, I think, you know.
A stretch of water known for its power.
13 years, a lot of work.
And a ship waiting for its moment.
People just pitched in.
Made from cedar and oak, the 60-foot vessel is the only Coast Guard-approved Viking ship in the world. This is Valkyrie.
It was a promise.
A promise David Knudsen made to his late father.
I said, Dad, I just want to tell you how much I love you. And he started to tear up, you know, and I started to tear up. It was a mess. And I said, I'm going to build you a Viking ship. And after I said that, I thought, what in the hell? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm getting into.
A feat spanning 3 generations. One son built the ship by his side, and the other leads from the helm.
Is it hard to learn how to captain one of these?
We'll see. There's a learning curve for sure.
The Knudsen family vision.
I could really feel like ancestors kind of reaching through, you know.
What do you think your grandfather would say to see all this?
I think he would laugh, and he'd say something in Danish that I wouldn't be able to pronounce.
Brought to life by a crew that became a community.
There are good ships and there are wooden ships. There are ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships. May they always be.
They laughed, they hugged, and took in the view. Then came the ritual. Coffee, pastries, and a Swinomish elder's blessing. With the blessing complete and the tide in their favor, the moment was here.
Okay, all aboard.
I would take the Northwest Passage.
One final song to send them off.
Reaching for the Northward Sea.
A ship built on a promise. Now moving with purpose.
In the times we live in today, it's pretty rough. I mean, people aren't getting along with one another, respecting one another. And I really hope this ship goes out brings community together.
On its very first voyage, Valkyrie was doing just that.
All right, from the seas to the streets, Chris McGinnis back in the mix with the traffic alert.
Yeah, we go down to Lane County. We're going a little bit out of our viewing area to talk about this because I-5 right now is closed both directions south of Eugene. We're hearing this is near milepost 186. Again, a complete shutdown of the freeway. I'm working to get more details from OSP and from ODOT. I don't have anything to share with you right now other than the highway in both directions south of Eugene is closed. All right, let's bring you farther north into the metro area towards Tualatin. I-5 northbound traffic still puttering along out of Wilsonville through Tualatin. We'll take you farther north, and you can see, again, still pretty busy there up through the Twilliger curves. That's probably one of the slowest stretches. I think you could get out and walk faster than this at this point. Northbound I-5 really puttering along there, and that's one of our slowest drive times remaining. 40 minutes still to get you in from Wilsonville to downtown. The end of the line out of Clark County has made its way down to the Interstate Bridge. You can see we're actually looking pretty good at SR 500, but from bridge to bridge, from the Interstate to the Fremont, you're still looking at a solid 20 minutes for that southbound I-5 drive. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Still ahead, several wineries in ruins after the Burdoin fire ripped through their vineyards in the gorge. How other vineyards that is, are offering to help as they try to move forward.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We have breaking news this morning. One person was taken to the hospital after he was stabbed on Northeast MLK and arrested early this morning. That man is expected to be okay. Police say they detained a juvenile suspect and are investigating what happened.
An update on the Burdoin fire in Central Oregon. It is now 69% contained. Pardon me, the Burdoin fire burning along the Washington side of the gorge. It is now 69% contained. All level 3 evacuation orders have been downgraded to level 2, meaning people can start to go back to their homes. Meanwhile, crews have been making progress to contain the Burdoin fire. Its impact being felt at local wineries. All of them have lost some of their vines along with finished bottles of wine. KGW's Libby Dowsett went to the town of Lyle where winery owners are dealing with the damage.
You can see some kegs and small stainless steel tanks.
Barrow wine, named after the high barometric pressure and whipping winds at this winery, ended up playing a role in these buildings' demise.
We lost 4 buildings. The tractor shed had some vineyard stuff and a bunch of that type of farm equipment.
What was once a beautiful new winery, cellar, and farm storage area is now rubble.
It's really hard to see, but it also helps to see it in person, to make it real.
The strong, dry winds that help vines grow strong here fueled the fire that turned Eric and Ashley Blossman's grapes to raisins. The Blossmans watching the fire move in via their surveillance cameras.
I could see the flames in the background, and I could see like the smoke building.
Just trying to be stable, and rolling with it, and being more analytical and not emotional about it. But I was kind of a mess yesterday. I don't know why.
Surprisingly, their house survived the fire. Eric turned on the sprinklers before they evacuated with their 2 children.
Like red wine over there, I could smell, and I could smell a lot of like white wine over here.
The wine did not make it.
It was probably around 1,300 cases of finished product, labeled everything.
And it's not just the Blossmans facing losses. The fire burned about an acre of grapes at Syncline Winery. The owner saying the smoke appears to have tainted everything.
There'd be 0 harvest of grapes this year. So complete loss of crop here.
Just down the hill, Core Winery lost a pump house. But these winemakers recognize many in the community have lost so much more.
But it's a really raw time for the community. This is the biggest disaster that we've seen since we've been here.
Other wineries have been reaching out with offers of grapes for those affected by the fires. Syncline Winery says they may take people up on that offer. But as for those at Barrow Wine dealing with all of this, they don't know what their next step is. In Lisle, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
All right, it's time to go to Rod Hill. Rod, you're talking about something I feel like we haven't talked about in a while, thunderstorms.
Yeah, the chance we haven't talked about in a while here on the west side of our state, and that could happen tomorrow overnight into Thursday morning. This will be another day of more thunderstorm activity in parts of central and especially out east. Radar right now is showing no thunder and lightning, but a rain shower that's popped up just over the Jefferson, looks like Clackamas County line right there. So evidence that things are ripe for shower activity. The National Weather Service has everything shaded in light green here in a potential thunderstorm outlook later today. Again, if Futurecast is right, the best storm chance will be far south and off to the east. But there could be storms migrating up into central Oregon today as well. Here's what Futurecast does show. This is later this afternoon at 5 o'clock. You can see the bright colors down near the Idaho border. And then they fade away. This is what happened yesterday. And then they redevelop again. Now, tomorrow is interesting because tomorrow's the day, Wednesday, that we think storms have the best chance to start developing up and down the Cascades. This shows a storm tomorrow afternoon around Medford, some storms around Jefferson and Santiam Pass. Will some of this action hold together tomorrow evening and drift into the Willamette Valley? That's at least a possibility. Futurecast did show just now, I saw a blip of yellow maybe over Marion County tomorrow overnight. And then this is Thursday morning at 7 o'clock. It shows no thunder and lightning, but some rain showers into Portland. And then later, Thursday noon, some scattered storms around the Washington Cascades, maybe Rainier, and then some of that action could drift into Seattle. So certainly the chance of rain where you are, if you live in the Willamette Valley or Southwest Washington, is pretty minute. But just understand it could happen that some of these storms pop over and some of us get some rain Wednesday overnight into Thursday morning. Right now, it's just beautiful. There's Mount Hood looking from the Chehalem Tasting Room camera out in Sherwood. 65 degrees. That's, by the way, that is dust. It looks like they're doing some cultivated work out there in the vineyard. 65 is the temperature. 60 in Kelso. We're sunny at the beach. Newport 55. Good morning to you down in Lincoln County. 64 in Salem. 69 in John Day. Partly cloudy skies out east. No rain chance in the gorge, the coast, or the valley today. Beautiful weather, in fact. Pacific City and Astoria both on track to get up to about 70 degrees this afternoon. Valley numbers looks like 90 or better. So warmer than yesterday. McMinnville 94, Salem 93. Southwest Washington nearing 90 up in Kelso, Longview, hitting 90 in Clark County. And I've got Portland potentially at back-to-back days, 92 today, 91 tomorrow. That rain chance that we talked about, and I showed you Wednesday night into Thursday morning. After that, we cool back down nicely. Friday could be morning clouds to sun, and high of only 77, and pretty nice into the weekend as well. It is birthday time. All right, our Tuesday birthday celebration. Charlie's a baseball player, Yankees fan. Swing, bada. Charlie's 6 today. Happy birthday. Xavier, now a teenager, 13. Hope you have a great day. Madison, 14 years old in Vancouver. Happy birthday to you. And Casey is 43 today. Hope you have a great day. on your birthday. Birthdays at KGW.com, and we will celebrate with you. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with that traffic alert in Lane County. South of Eugene, I-5 closed because of a crash. This is both directions near milepost 186. I'm going to take you there real quick. I know a bit out of our viewing area, but a lot of folks hitting the road. Maybe I don't have many details on this crash, but that both sides of the highway are closed. It could be a while before this opens. We'll work to keep you updated on this. Again, this is about 2 miles south of Highway 58 in Lane County, and you can see the backup south of there with traffic that at this moment appears to be parked on the freeway on I-5 in Lane County. All right, back to the drive locally here. We've got plenty of slow spots. There's northbound I-5 through the Twilliger curve, still puttering along there. Still a solid 40 minutes or so to get you in from the Boone Bridge north to the Markham Bridge. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Listen to this. 600 kids in Northeast Portland are spending their summer vacation learning. How about that idea? Over the last several weeks, these kids have been spending their days inside the classroom with a group called Elevate Oregon. It's a local nonprofit that focuses on serving kids in high poverty areas. This is a camp where students from elementary school up through high school can spend summer break focusing on everything from reading to math.
We had a project where we were going to decide which college we went to, and that helps mostly all of the students in my class for Elevate decide what they want to do in the future. And with the help of Elevate, I want to be a lawyer.
Yeah, Elevate Oregon has a great track record of success. They've seen former students come back to be camp mentors, and they say one of their former students has even worked their way up to becoming a manager with the program.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
And a wrap up our top stories this morning. The man accused of crashing a stolen car and hitting 2 people has pleaded not guilty. 28-year-old Amin Noor Mohammed is charged with a dozen counts, including assault, reckless driving, and DUI. Prosecutors request Mohammed be kept in jail while his case plays out. He has another hearing set for today. And Salem city leaders have declared a state of emergency over future drinking water concerns. The Army Corps of Engineers plans to lower Detroit Lake next year to help endangered salmon migrations. But city officials warn that could stir up sediment and clog Salem's main treatment plant. The emergency declaration clears the way for $8 million in upgrades and backup wells, all to keep clean water flowing to residents. And a Portland man is accused of assaulting an ICE officer and damaging federal property during a protest outside the South Portland ICE facility. Investigators identified 24-year-old Robert Hoops from a photo online from the day of that protest. The FBI arrested him last Friday. He's charged with aggravated assault and damage of federal property.
And our 7-day forecast, back-to-backers are possible. Talking about 90-degree heat, 92 this afternoon. 90, 91 maybe tomorrow. And then don't forget that rain chance from thunderstorms over the Cascades tomorrow overnight into Thursday. We'll see if we get anything.
Hey guys, I want to get back to that traffic alert in Lane County. This is a snapshot on I-5 south of Lane County Community College. What I can tell you right now from OSP is that I-5 is completely shut down. They're calling this a large scene with a crash and a possible fatality. Life flight has been called in south of Eugene. So I'm bringing this up obviously because that's going to be a lengthy closure. I know that's quite a ways away, but anyone heading on the freeway into the southern Willamette Valley know that that is going to be closed for some time. We'll keep you posted.
All right, final minute of the Sunrise Show. Just a quick reminder, our KGW School Supply Drive is starting up on Friday. So we're going to be talking a lot about that over the course of the next month. Great opportunities for you to help local kids and schools in the area by not only giving, but you can also collect for us this year. So again, that starts up on Friday. Our next local newscast here live on KGW Plus is going to be happening at noontime. So stay tuned for that. Also keep in mind that you can watch this show, your Sunrise Show, anytime you darn well please, thanks to this very streaming channel, KGW Plus.
I could go home and watch this later today.
Whenever you want.
You should do that, Rod. I think you'd be impressed with the way you look on television. You are a sharp-dressed man. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.